morning guys, it's 8 o'clock in the morning in the UK and I'm about to listen to Måneskin's I Wanna Be Your Slave with Iggy Pop, which is a fantastic collaboration. Godfather of punk, a rock legend, wants to collaborate with the hottest new band on the scene, and it's going to be a great crossover for Måneskin to get into some older audiences. This is fantastic. It seems like it was announced very recently and then released very quickly. So if it was a sort of shotgun collaboration, we'll see how this has gone. Let's just get into it. Interested to see what they've done. Have they changed the song? What's Iggy done? Has he added his own verse? That kind of thing. So let's go.
I wanna be a slave, I wanna be your master. I wanna make your heartbeat run like roller coaster. I wanna be a good boy, I wanna be a gangster. Cause you can be the beauty and I could be the monster. I love you since this morning, not just for aesthetic. I wanna touch your body so...
Okay, wait, 1 second. Okay, I mean this in the best way possible, but there's a lot of vocal processing on that man's voice. That is coated in auto-tune, all kinds of reverb effects, and it's just, sounds like it's been spliced up a bit, maybe different takes squished together. I'll talk about this more at the end, but oops, yeah, that sounds a bit strange so far. And also, by the looks of it, sounds like he was emulating Damiano's vocals a little bit too much there. Damiano has an accent in this song. You can hear his Italian accent. Some people have almost called it French sounding. And Iggy is singing, pronouncing words in that way, like monster, roller coaster. I noticed there was a similarity there. So he is copying Damiano a bit. I'm not sure how I feel about that because I thought he'd come in here and do his own thing with it. So let's keep going.
Electric. I know you're scared of me. You say I'm too eccentric. I'm crying all my tears and that's pathetic. I wanna make you hungry, then I wanna feed ya. I wanna paint your face like your Mona Lisa. I wanna be a champion.
Oh, so they've just completely then siphoned off into Damiano's original vocal. They put them side by side and you can hear a clear difference there. Damiano, it doesn't have the same level of vocal processing. It will have a little bit, but he can sing everything in tune. But with Iggy, what's happened is they've put him through so much vocal processing because he probably wasn't hitting all the marks in terms of getting an accurate pitch. But why does it need to be like that? Like, they could have left it as it was before. We could hear the raw vocals because that's what Iggy is known for. He's known for his raw, raspy voice. We don't need it to be note perfect. And by over processing it, they've taken away a bit of magic there, in my opinion. And yeah, if you're going to have those two things side by side, it's just everything kind of comes up through the woodwork way too much here. You can hear the difference so clearly. I'm a musician, but even if you're not, you can still hear it. It sounds like Iggy, it sounds like he's almost singing karaoke, and then Damiano is you know, a polished performance, and it's clashed.
I wanna be a loser. I'll even be a clown 'cause I just wanna amuse ya. I wanna be a sexter. I wanna be a teacher. I wanna
This song slaps.
I wanna be a preacher. I wanna make you love me, then I wanna leave ya. 'Cause baby, I'm your David and you're my Goliath. Alright. Okay.
Alright.
Because I'm the devil who's searching for redemption, and I'm a lawyer who's searching for redemption. I'm a killer who's searching for redemption.
This is better.
I'm searching for redemption. I'm a bad guy who's searching for redemption, and I'm a blind girl who's searching for redemption. I'm a freak who is searching for redemption. I'm a monster who's searching for redemption.
That was better because it felt like Iggy did his own thing there, and it wasn't as processed because the melody line there is more static. It doesn't travel as much as in the verses. The da 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 da, like that's more of a, it jumps around more melodically, but this pre-chorus bit is just da 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 da. It's just two notes, so that's probably why it's worked a bit more there, but also it felt more like, yeah, he's doing his own thing.
Redemption.
alright.
I wanna be a slave,
Okay.
I wanna be a master. I wanna make your heartbeat run like roller coasters. I wanna be a good boy, I wanna be a gangster. Cause you can be the beauty and I could be the monster. I wanna make you quiet, I wanna make you nervous. I wanna set you free, but I'm too jealous. I wanna pull your strings like you're my Telecaster. And if you wanna use me, I could be your puppet.
Was that the Cookie Monster?
We searching for redemption, and I'm a killer. We searching for redemption. We're searching for redemption.
Oh god. Oh, they put them on top of each other vocally. Oh no. That wasn't mixed very well at all. They were just fighting for the spotlight there. Sonically, it was clashing. Oh god. Right, I'll speak about this more at the end.
Shit. Okay. And I could be the monster.
Okay.
I wanna be your slave. I wanna be your master.
Okay, I like that. I mean, okay, let's just break this down here. I think my expectations are a lot higher for this collaboration because it's, you know, a legend collaborating with some really, really promising young musicians. What strikes me about this is that it might have been rushed. I can tell this has been rushed because firstly, Iggy sounded like he was reading off a page and he sounded like he was singing karaoke because he probably didn't have long to learn anything. But also, I feel like his voice type just doesn't suit this. It was too fast, too melodic, and that was exemplified so much when you had Damiano next to Iggy, and also in the track they were on top of each other like this, fighting to get to the forefront of my headphones, and that's not been mixed well. It's not, because it's been rushed, it hasn't been thought through well enough, it hasn't been planned. I feel like he just recorded maybe 3 takes. They were spliced up, they found the best bits of these takes, and then the producer was like, okay, because Damiano vocals are note perfect, we need to get Iggy's up to that standard, and then they've over-processed it. It's clear auto-tune at the beginning especially. You could hear jumps between notes, slides that was too robotic sounding. And that's weird because Iggy has a raw voice. It shouldn't be processed like that. Whoever did that, they shouldn't have done that in my opinion. But you know what, I still love them. I still think they're amazing. I think the collab maybe would have worked better if they did City of Bonnie. I can imagine Iggy maybe writing his own English verse, rehearsing it, re-recording it, and that would have been epic because it's a slower tempo, it's slightly more grungy. I think his voice type would have suited it more, the melody maybe, it's more shouty. I mean, there was parts of this collab I liked. I liked when Iggy kind of did his own thing with the growling and adding maybe a few little bits and pieces lyric-wise, but it really just was a cover, and I don't know, it just didn't work for me. I think this is great for them still, and I am being picky, and I hope I don't get a bunch of dislikes because I didn't entirely enjoy it. But yeah, I think this would have been a lot better if it had been planned a long time in advance, maybe months. Re-recorded instruments, because that was just the same backing track and they inserted Iggy on top of it, and he wasn't mixed in properly because he probably used a different microphone, and then the quality of the recording was different. They couldn't match it to the original, and what we've ended up with is something that's sort of a damp squib, and it could have been amazing. But I am overly critical because I love Måneskin, I love Iggy, and I think this could have been a lot better. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. Do you agree with me, disagree with me? What do you think about this collaboration? And I'll be back very, very soon for a new reaction video. Have a good week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.